Fundamental crossroads of communication. Seriously, whether you're trying to change your own habits, maybe lead a team, or just make sense of the media you consume every single day, you're constantly bumping into two vastly different approaches to sharing ideas. And the big question at the heart of all this is, are we trying to make the audience feel a certain way, or do we want to make them know specific, actionable information? It's a huge dynamic shift in psychology. Actually, scratch that. It's more like a completely different operating system for how we interact. And once you recognize it, I promise you, it's going to change how you communicate forever. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our agenda. First up, the spark versus the manual. Then, triggering your internal resolve. After that, providing context and clarity. And finally, combining feeling with knowing. Notice how this agenda is just giving you a structural blueprint before we hit the heavy stuff? Pretty meta, right? Section 1. The spark versus the manual. Action versus information. So think of your mind and your ambition like a high-performance vehicle. Motivation? Well, that's the spark that starts the engine. Its core purpose is to trigger an internal state of resolve. It is entirely designed to make you feel urgency or hope or strength so you can turn your thoughts into action. It answers that deep, profound why. Description, on the other hand, is the manual that tells you exactly how to operate the machine. It doesn't care about your feelings at all. It's a context block. It's a blueprint designed to make you know specific information. And the truth is, you literally can't go anywhere without both of them. Section 2. Triggering your internal resolve, the cinematic approach. When communicators really want to ignite your drive, they intentionally avoid sounding like a boring teacher giving you robotic advice. Instead, they use cinematic, deeply emotional storytelling to totally bypass your logic. Take the incredible story recounted by creator Matosis M about the boxer Buster Douglas. Douglas was fighting the terrifying Mike Tyson and got knocked down. I mean, it was almost a 10 count, it looked like it was over, but somehow he got back up. Why? Because his emotional why was greater than his knockdown. This style speaks directly to your primal urge to just overcome adversity. And you know, this brilliantly illustrates how you can actually use this cinematic approach on yourself. Dr. Ivan Joseph argues that self-confidence isn't just something you're born with. It's a skill, built through fierce internal resolve. And how do you build it? Definitely not with bland, descriptive advice. You build it with powerful self-affirmations. Phrases like, I am the captain of my ship and the master of my fate. Repeating that in moments of doubt triggers an emotional state of power, completely silencing that negative self-talk we all deal with. But here is the massive catch. What happens when that motivation inevitably fades and you actually need to do the work? You know the feeling. The music stops, that cinematic YouTube video ends, your heart rate finally settles, and you're just staring at a blank screen with absolutely no idea what to do next. The spark ignited the engine, but you don't know how to put the car in gear. This is the exact moment where motivation completely fails us. Section 3, providing context and clarity, the logical layup. So, this is where we pivot to the descriptive manual. Unlike motivation, description is totally straightforward and entirely fact-based. Take Jan Goebel's coding tutorial on how to build a YouTube clone using React, which is a popular web development framework. He promises to explain every single line of code. There is absolutely zero emotional charge here, right? It is purely an educational blueprint. But without this kind of descriptive knowledge, your fiery motivation just burns out into pure frustration. Let's move to another example and see how this builds. We see this exact same need for functional layouts when we interact with AI. Jeff Su breaks down a brilliant formula for ChatGPT: context, task, persona, format, and tone. By providing the AI with these very specific building blocks, you constrain the endless possibilities. This is the absolute essence of descriptive communication. It clearly articulates an end goal through a structured, logical sequence, taking the guesswork out entirely. Now, what's really interesting when we contrast these side by side is that the anatomy of communication becomes incredibly clear. Motivation relies on a cinematic journey with a core goal of internal resolve. Its message is usually something epic about sacrifice. Description, however, relies on a fact-based layout with a core goal of providing context. Its message is simply, hey, here is how this task actually works. Section 4. Combining feeling with knowing, the engine in motion. The absolute most crucial reality here is that we cannot live strictly in one camp or the other. We see this brilliantly illustrated in Tim Urban's concept of the procrastinator's brain. He talks about the instant gratification monkey, who only wants fun and easy things. So what finally stops the monkey? The terrifying, screaming panic monster that wakes up right before a deadline. That panic is a raw, motivational force. But to actually get the paper written, you still need descriptive planning. Without the emotional panic, the plan just gathers dust. But without the plan, the panic just leads to a complete meltdown. Or consider the growth mindset from TED Ed, which is the belief that your abilities develop through dedication and practice. To actually live this out in the real world, you need the motivational resolve to endure the pain of making mistakes. But equally, you need the descriptive knowledge to analyze exactly why you failed so you can adapt. Motivation keeps you in the game, sure, but description ensures you actually play better next time.
We even see this synthesis in how we speak to other people. Julian Treasure's HAIL method for communication stands for honesty, authenticity, integrity, and love. Now, honesty is pure description. It's stating the facts exactly as they are. But absolute honesty without any empathy, well, that can just be cruel. That's why it has to be tempered with love, which is the emotional, motivational component of truly wishing people well. When you combine clear, factual honesty with empathetic emotion, people will actually want to listen to you. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought as you look at your own stalled projects or habits. Which communication style are you lacking right now? Do you have all the step-by-step instructions but are totally devoid of the emotional spark to actually start? Or have you been hyping yourself up with inspirational videos for months but absolutely refuse to read the boring manual on how the work actually gets done? Figure out what you are missing and go get it. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.